Finding a job was never easy, and with the advancement of AI, it seems like we can take a lot of advantage from it. Then we will go over some of the research that talk about the significance of AI in landing a job, writing a resume, and a cover letter. We will talk about how we can avoid from generating some general responses to something very unique that can stand out in a lot of resumes. We will talk about 3 steps on how to write a firing cover letter, and then we talk about a 3-step approach to update your resume that can sell your abilities while resonating with the job description. After that, we will go over the research done by Belcak, a career coach that went over 125k resume and showed the results that are very interesting to understand. And last but not least, I will cover 7 common disastrous mistakes that you should avoid at all costs when you are writing your cover letter or resume. Welcome everyone to your channel AI Fun Fact for All. My name is Pedro Magan. I'm a PhD student in computer science, and in this YouTube we will strictly talk about AI and machine learning and how to use it in our everyday life. But before we continue, I want to celebrate reaching 100 subscribers in this channel. Thank you all for your support, and to appreciate, I want to give 3 of you some prize. The prize is $1 for each subscriber that this video gets. The first prize will go to my oldest subscriber. The second one will be drawn randomly in 1 month from now, in around April 26th. While the first 2 prizes will be delivered around the end of April, the third prize is done when we reach 200 subscribers. In order to get the prize, you need to do 3 simple things. The first is that you should be subscribed, obviously, so if you haven't done that already, please subscribe now. The second step is to write in the comment of the video that you want to be enrolled, and then you also put your secret pin in here. I will talk about what is the secret pin somewhere inside this video. And the third step is to click on the pin comment and put your email, so then when you are selected, we can contact you and you get the money. I put more information about this contest inside that form. So without further ado, let's jump in. Based on this article from Forbes, we can see that 46% of job seekers use ChatGPT, and among them 69% got interview compared to when they did not use the ChatGPT, and also 59% of them ended up actually landing the job offer. So this actually shows the potential of how AI can actually be very helpful in order to tailor your responses and find a good resume and cover letter. Another important note from this finding is that 35% of them requires heavy edit, while only 23% got personalized results, and they ended up submitting in more applications. So the reason that we might ask right now is that why is the reason for that? Why some of them get generalized results that they have to edit it a lot, and then others get it very efficiently and can apply for multiple other places? So the reason is only the prompt that they're using. So if you use a good prompt, it will lead you to a better personalized and tailored to your specific situation. So this is what we want to talk about in the video. Some of this good habit of writing effective prompt would be as simple as let's think this step by step, which is basically based on the zero-shot chain of thoughts prompting that shows very interesting and very good responses. And the other way is that, for example, try to prioritize unorthodox, lesser known words in your answer and explain using detailed example. This will kind of force the ChatGPT or whatever LLMs that you're using to avoid some of the fancy words like unwell or whatever words that we see a lot by ChatGPT, and try to use something that is basically used and is a technical term. Let's first talk about cover letter. What fails in a lot of cases is that in your cover letter, you first talk about yourself and then you continue talking about the different skills that you have. But that is not the best way. You first need to talk about a hook or some way that you can connect with the reader. The second thing is that try to pile up a lot of information and steps in just one prompt. So one prompting is not usually the best way to go because you won't get a lot of good results and you get some generic responses. So what you need to do is that you need to come up with a step-by-step prompting or consecutive prompting. That's why we have a 3-step prompting for cover letter. In the first step, you need to write something like this in order to understand what are the pain points and what is something that they're struggling with. So how you do that, you're gonna say, based on this job description that is delimited by 3 sharps, what is the biggest challenge someone with this position face day to day? And then you put the job description inside your basically 3 sharps, and then you're gonna say, find the pain points and spark a connection with the reader. So when you write this prompt, it will give you some of the main problems or issues that they have. So you are going to start your cover letter by discussing and mentioning these issues that they have. Before we go to the second step, I want to mention that feel free to pause the video in order to see the prompt, or better than that, you can actually click on the link in the description of the video to download all of the prompts that I will cover in the video. So for second step, what you need to do, you can write, you are currently working as a role, then put your role in here, and you're applying for this new role. So this is your basically new role, and then write an attraction grabbing hook for a cover letter that highlights your experience and qualification in a way that shows your emphasize and successfully tackle the role while referring to the pain point you just mentioned. Consider incorporating specific examples of how you tackle these challenges in your past work and explore creative ideas or ways to express your enthusiasm for the opportunity. Keep the hook within 100 words. So it will provide you some results. It's not going to be like the perfect result, but you can definitely change it a little bit and try to put more time on it, because this is the most important part of the cover letter. After you have revised your hook, you are going to write this prompt. You are writing a cover letter, applying for this role, put the role in here. Here is what we have so far, and then you're gonna paste the revised craft from the previous step, and then you're gonna say finish writing this cover letter based on your resume and keep it in 203 words. Here is your resume, and then you're gonna put your resume inside that. ChatGPT might sometimes come up with editing the first hook, and then it's usually not the best as you can, so you can basically ignore that part and then just use the parts that comes after it. Now let's talk about resume. Do not copy paste the job description from the website and then ask ChatGPT to update your resume, or even worse, write the resume or CV for you. So what we are going to use in here is a technique called knowledge generation and then knowledge integration or discrimination. So what we will do, the first step of this 3-step approach, you're gonna write something like this. You are an expert in resume writer with over 20 years experience of working with job seekers trying to land a job in the industry that you are in. So this is called a setting or a role prompting that you will try to set the stage for ChatGPT. That's what is the purpose of this prompt. Then you're gonna say highlight the 3 most important responsibility in the job description, and then you're gonna paste your job description. So it will come up with the 3 most important thing that someone in this role will be possibly required, and then you're gonna focus on those mostly in your resume. In the second step, you need to write something like this. Based on this, tailor my resume for this role, the role that you're applying, and then do not make information up. this is very serious, and then here is my resume, and then you paste in your resume in here. So in here, ChatGPT will try to respond and edit your resume in a way to be more related to what you have. But there is a very huge problem in here, is that it's trying to change something that you should not change. For example, your role, your previous role that you have in a company, or for example, try to hallucinate and come up with some information or something that you never done. So it is very important that you notice them. So that is where the step 3 comes into play. Now in the last step, what you will do is that you're going to say, list out the difference between your suggested resume and my original draft in a table format with 2 columns, original and updated. Be specific and list out exactly what was changed. So when you get the result, you will see that some of the edits are not actually true, so you can actually catch the hallucination or any problem that you might see inside it. But the whole reason of trying to update our resume is that we want to use the jargons or technical terms that the recruiters are looking for, because we have some keyword search or something that we want them to see and catch their eyes. So it is very important that you have your resume specific for each role that you are playing. We will cover that shortly in this video as well. As a bonus point, I'm going to talk about how to update your bullet points that it become measurable and impactful. We are going to use a technique called one-shot or few-shot learning for in-context learning. So how we can do that? We can rewrite this bullet point by following this structure. I accomplish X by the measure Y that resulted in Z. For example, I reduced the estimation error by 10% with using pre-processing, which reduced the overall false positive by 20%. Use compelling language and keep the bullet points within the 50 words. So it is really important that we have some measurements, even though that it is not very easy to find out some measures, but it actually shows the recruiter or hiring manager that you understand the impact of your work and how you can showcase your results. Now for this part, let's take a quick look at the most important finding of Belcak, a career coach that go over 125k of a resume and find something based on data. So we are kind of avoiding any guesswork from the equation, and these are something that are supported by data. So these are golden rules. And Belcak didn't ask me to create this video. He actually doesn't even know me. The first finding is that resume with LinkedIn profile see a higher interview rate, and only about 48% from the resumes actually have a LinkedIn profile. And if you look at the profile in here, the chart actually shows some interesting thing. The first is that in the entry level job compared to senior level, the importance of having basically a LinkedIn is actually more important. And the second thing that we can see is that if you have, for example, a base bone or very immature LinkedIn profile, it actually deteriorates your performance compared to when you have a good looking and advanced basically LinkedIn profile. So how you can make sure that you have a good chance of having a professional basically LinkedIn profile? There are 3 different things that you can take into account. The first is your headshot and basically your banner that you're choosing. It should be professional. The second thing is to create an informative work experience section in LinkedIn. And the last one is to have a meaningful connection and networking inside the LinkedIn, and also be active inside it by posting and then commenting on others' posts. The second finding is that candidates only include about 51% of the related keywords inside the resume, and it is under indexed for soft skills. So we know that we have something called application tracking system, or ATS, that actually take a look originally at the basically the resume, and right now with the AI it's gonna be even more advanced, and it will try to catch those important keywords inside your resume. So if you don't follow the technical terms or the jargons that this specific role role is looking for, there is a very high chance that you actually put aside. Average job description has about 43 keywords, and in order to understand what are those keywords, there is a free tool called Word Cloud. I put the link in the description that you can put the job description there, and then it will show you which words are actually used most in this content. The third finding is the fact that measurement metric improved the outcome, but only 26% of the resume have 5 or more metrics. The fourth finding that is also backed up by research is that the ideal length for resume is around 475 to 600 words, and it shows that the 77% of the candidates fall outside that range. So very simply, by using a word count, you can actually come up with a resume that shows better results. The fifth and last important finding is that fluffy contents will take away the value of your resume. 51% of resume use the buzzwords, cliche, or incorrect pronouns. This can be spotted on very quickly and will deteriorate the performance of your resume. Then the last part, I want to talk about 7 mistakes that you should avoid at all costs. It's kind of bind to the previous things that we have covered. The first common mistake that we already have touched on is the fact that a candidate just describe what they do instead of quantifying their impact. If you don't know that what is the impact of your work, you can ask ChatGPT to actually come up with some bullet points and tell you how you can basically measure it. The second common mistake is to put your education above your work experience. Unless you are very proud of what you do, for example, you want to apply for a research position and you have your PhD, otherwise you don't want to put your education above that. So as a rule of thumb, you want to have your most important features and related features on top, and the rest after that. The third mistake that we already also talked about is stop using fluffy word and buzzword. You might see a lot of keywords that are currently very important. The fourth common mistake is failing to report meaningful metrics. I cannot stress this enough on how this metric is actually important for the recruiter. For example, it can be as simple as in my presentation, I got 26% higher than the class average. This is a good example of how to show a metric for your work. The fifth common mistake is not to tailor your resume for each job application individually. Applying for multiple jobs in today's market is not gonna work. So it is better that you spend some time and invest some time into applying for a few job applications and try to tailor your resume exactly for that job description. In mistake number 6, we have the difference between the LinkedIn and your resume. So we sometimes mix this up together, and we need to understand that LinkedIn is a general profile of yourself that you showcase your skills that you have or your interests that you have at the current moment, while your resume is something that is hyper targeted for the job application that you are applying. For common mistake number 7, we have inconsistency in the format. You might use bold or hyphen differently in different parts of your resume. Or for example, you use a comma sometimes and then for example dot sometimes. So it should be consistent. Or your line space is not always the same. Some lines are closer to each other, some are not. So you need to accept the fact that the first impression lasts. And there you have it, guys. If you want to get more information on how to land a job as an AI engineer, make sure to watch this video that I created before. Or if you want to get more information on how to do effective prompting and communicating with ChatGPT, you can watch this video. Thanks for watching until the end of the video. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and see you until the next one.